Yo, yo, yo. All right, the mics is set. We in the building. I see you got. Is that a new mic?
Nah, I just
Oh,
never actually use it, so
oh,
I figured I might as well plug
yeah,
it in. I was cleaning my desk the other day. I was like, let me actually set this back up.
bring them out. Bring them out. I like it. I was thinking about shit. That was something I was gonna do for this new season. Let's get us some new mic equipment and all that. So we
Yeah.
gonna work on that before training camp comes. So
New energy, new energy.
new energy, y'all. But
Season 4 energy.
season 4, but welcome people. For those who did not check out our last episode, it was YouTube only. It was on on our page in the zone with VNZ. If you type that in, we tapped in with my father, and we kind of went a little old school, fast forward to new school, talked about looking forward to the new stadium and all of that good stuff. But man, welcome, season 4, episode 2, in the zone with VNZ. I'm your boy Val.
And it is Cyrus in the flesh, baby. We are back. Well, semi in the flesh.
Yeah,
We on,
we here.
we on a virtual episode, but either way, it's all love. You still gonna get the same content you normally get. So
That's a
we
fact,
out
though,
here.
man. That's a fact. So I mean, exciting stuff to get into. Everybody know the month of April is a pretty good month. If you're a football fan, because this is when you introduce those rookies. You get a chance to, if you ain't watched college tape, you get a chance to dive into some college players that you might have missed out on for 4 months. I know I'm one of those people. I don't watch college football until the college football playoffs mainly. And if I get a chance to watch during the season, it's probably because I got some money on it. So I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not your
I
die.
got the FanDuel love.
Yeah, when I got the parlay put together, but I'm not your college expert. But with that being said, I think most people can relate when we get into the month of April. That's when it's kind of time to like, all right, let me flip the pages a little bit, get my remote going and get on YouTube and find out a little bit more about some of these players. So definitely over the next 2 weeks, you'll hear us dive into it. I know next week, Z is excited because we get to do one of those mock drafts again live, 3 rounds. We only pick the Bills, so we don't go crazy like ESPN and NFL Network. We try to keep it Bills only here, but obviously we talk about what's going on around our.
Yeah, we're gonna do we're doing 4 rounds this time, Val.
So I
Since
like
we ain't got the 3rd round pick, so we might as
it.
well add them 2 4th round picks into the fray and
Hey, you
see
got
what
a
we
point.
come up with.
You got a point. You got a point. And that's the beautiful thing about like just this time of the year, because we can play around, be GMs for a month, for a day. Put together your different mocks. I know I done posted already on Twitter like 2 different mocks just out of boredom. Like
Mm-hmm.
it'd be weird shit. I come home, clean up, do whatever I got to do, and I sit down and I just be like, you know what? Let me go play around with the mock simulator real quick, see what I can come up with. And it's interesting the names that you come up with, some of the descriptions that you see in there for certain players. But once again, good time of the year. So man, how was your week though, Z man? Pretty solid, pretty normal.
Yeah, it's good, man. Been busy. Been busy. Like I said, business picking up, so business is booming.
I like that. I mean,
So
you always, grinding, putting out your videos. If those who don't know, maybe it's their first season, man. What do you do, Z?
real estate agent, 8 years in now. So for
Yeah.
those who have not tapped in with me yet, get at me.
Get
I'm
at them.
trying to help everybody get to this home ownership game. That's what I live for right now. So spring market, baby, keeping me real active.
I like it though, man. I mean, the more active my man is, that means that there's things flowing in the right direction, and that's a positive thing, especially with everything else going around in this economy.
You right about that one.
Man, I mean, listen, for those who don't know about me, I work in sales, so I mean, it's always an up and down battle. But needless to say, oh, baby Z with the is that the cameo, the fake cameo for those who
Yeah,
can't.
the audio cameo, my man.
Audio cameo. We got baby Cyrus in there. What up, baby Z?
Say what's up to that.
What up? Go Bills, baby. Go Bills.
My face popped in and popped off.
I know, right? Yeah, he know what's up. He know the vibes. I gotta get over there soon. But yeah, so it's a lot going on, y'all. Out there in this world. So I'm just telling y'all, if I can tell y'all to do anything, it's make sure you are being smart with all of your funds and make sure you're getting after it too. I know there's people out there starting new jobs and people out there trying to stick through with the current job, and all in between. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So just keep a level head if you can, because we love to talk about sports, but in reality, what we do from our during the day, whether it's 9 to 5 or 12 to 9, or whether it's overnight, that's what truly matters, is making sure you take care of your home. So y'all do that for sure. But getting into the sports stuff, man, we got a lot going on here in Western New York. The Sabres got hot out of nowhere. That's funny, right? Um, I'll leave that alone though, because I'm not the
It's all good. You want to mess around and win 7 out of 8 games. Same night we come out with another dub. We officially eliminated from playoff contention.
crazy.
14-year drought. I thought we would never touch them numbers again in any sport in Buffalo. We go from a 17-year Buffalo Bills drought to
Hockey
a
drought.
14-year Sabres drought. So, we
Crazy.
can't get right. These dudes, man, balling lately, but it don't even matter. Because all you're doing is making your draft spot worse.
Right.
They playing entertaining hockey right now, so it's whatever, dog. I don't even know how I feel about this team right now, dog. Just so ugh.
I just had to say something about it real quick, because I know we transitioning from obviously hockey. College basketball just ended. We know we got the NBA playoffs around the corner, man. Which, for those
listen, April is top tier from a sports standpoint. I mean, you got NBA rolling into the playoffs, you got hockey rolling into the playoffs, NFL draft is coming up. I mean, for us golf fans, it's Masters week. So like it's something out there for everybody right now.
Yeah, and you got
parlays is wide open.
Parlays wide open. You got baseball too. Don't want to forget about baseball. The Yankees balling right now. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, I think the only people who get the worst of it is obviously the women in our lives who want our focus and they want our attention. That's the only tough part, because I'm always trying to make sure I got my ears open, but it can get rough.
That's a balancing act. We never gonna win.
Oh man, it's rough out here. And as I stated, we got NBA playoffs coming up for the next 2 months. So I'm trying to pray and cross my fingers, cross my toes that my Knicks don't really kill my vibe too much. But man, listen, them boys really, that's all I can say. They fought the other night though, for those who watch basketball. Knicks Celtics went to overtime, but
they should have had it.
They should have had it, but I hate the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Jason Tatum just all of a sudden turns into Kevin Durant when he feels like it, and I'm just like, dude, come on, man. Is you really like that, or do you just choose when you want to be like that? Like, that's the thing that I know.
You ain't doing that game in and game out. But when he put his cape on, he top tier. He just don't do it all the time.
Don't, and I know this ain't yeah, and this ain't a basketball podcast, but when I see him do that, like, we all know Jason Tatum, for those who don't know, very talented NBA player for the Boston Celtics. He just is one of those guys. Like, yeah, he can give you 50, or he can give you a smooth 16. It depends on whatever he's feeling like at that day. And when he on. Like, I was watching Mikal Bridges play extremely well defense, hitting it right over him. And then OG did a way better. OG did a better job. I think OG just adds a little more weight, being 240, 200 pounds. So that might have to be the matchup, if they advance to the second round. But they're going to have to get through, it looks like, Detroit first, which Detroit, they just one of those bad scrappy teams. Is like they're gonna annoy you the whole series. It might go 6 just cause
I'm not even supposed to be here, and I'm about to irritate the hell out of you for 6 games.
Yup. Mr. Isaiah Stewart, Rochester's own, gonna be out there probably trying to mess with Karl Anthony Towns or something, try to get in his head. I can see the series right now. That series is gonna be a wild series. But anyway, playoff basketball around the corner. I'll be locked in. I'm pretty sure I'll give y'all a 10-minute segment before we sign off every week come playoff time. I'm a big basketball fan, just for those who don't know. But on to the nitty gritty. We are officially, especially when this drops, we'll be officially 2 weeks away from the draft. The thing that I love most, and I think Z will probably agree with me, is when you see the reports of like who the Bills are sitting down with, who they having dinner with, who's a part of the top 30 visits. We got such and such in the building. We got such and such took an Instagram photo. He in Buffalo. That stuff get me excited, because I know most of the college kids, they excited too. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes some of these kids only get 2 or 3 visits. And when they know one of their visits is a Super Bowl contender, oh yeah, 19, 20, 21 years old, they gotta be hyped. They gotta be hyped and excited to join something that is, you know, that is, yeah. I mean, you're not joining the Tennessee Titans. No disrespect to that squad. Or you're not joining the New York Jets that's going through rebuilding. If you get a chance to sit down with Brandon Bean, Coach McDermott, you dealing with one of those title contenders, the big dogs, as I like to say. So a lot of big names, a lot of different people I'm seeing going in there. But there's one trend that I want to talk about that I'm seeing from the Buffalo Bills right now, and that's a lot of D linemen and a lot of corners, man. Like
Yep.
that's to me, that's music to my ears because I know sometimes they'll fluff it up. They'll bring in, a bunch of running backs, and I get worried. I'm like, oh, here we go again. About to draft another running back, or they'll bring in a tight end or somebody who I'm just like, okay. But I'm seeing some big name D tackles, some big guys, I should say, not even big names, some big guys coming through. I know I wrote a couple of them down, so I'm gonna try to make sure I don't fumble. There was a guy from Nebraska. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Z. Did TJ Watt go to Nebraska or did he go to Iowa? Or did JJ Watt go to Nebraska? I might have to look that up.
Yep. No, I'm on it.
All right, cool. Because I'm watching this guy, Ty Robinson. He a D tackle at Nebraska. They just had him in on a visit. Middle round pick, probably second, third, fourth. I don't know. But he had a monster of a combine. Showed flashes last year during the season. And I thought he was one that I kind of didn't have on my radar. That was very sneaky. A sleeper pick at D tackle because I really think the Bills going to probably end up double dipping when it comes to D tackle, especially. But I definitely see them attacking the edge too. But I just had to, I just wanted to throw that name on there because before we started, I saw that the Bills were visiting
Yeah.
with
TJ Watt went to Wisconsin.
TJ Watt went to Wisconsin. Okay. And
Yeah.
JJ, I think JJ must have went there too, low key. Because I can picture JJ in like white and red.
Yeah. He went to. Yeah, he went to Wisconsin also.
Okay. All right. But this guy, Ty Robinson, he went to Nebraska. I was looking at this guy, Ty Williams, who Bills also sat down with from Ohio State University. We all know Bills are very much connected with Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. I think we ended last week's episode talking about Kenneth Grant. So I'm gonna ask you, Z, man, no names in particular, but man, what are you looking for from the next addition to the D line? Most importantly, like what's the biggest thing that you think that we really need to address on day one or day two when it comes to that position in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I'll first say that the reason why I think they need to address this position is for the now and for the future. Uh, in the mix right now, you got Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones and Dwayne Carter, and that's kind of it. I mean, you got Ogunjobi, but that's 6 games
Right.
off rip, and again, are they going to slow play him coming back in? So, I mean, it could be 6, it could be 7, could be 8, if they're just trying to slowly get him back in. So, I mean, we need somebody right now to hop right into that rotation. If not, you're giving Zion Logue snaps. No disrespect to Zion Logue, but, that's not a guy I want in my rotation. So, also moving forward, after this year, we only got 2 defensive tackles under contract, just Ed Oliver and Dwayne Carter.
Right.
So that need is immediate and also moving forward, especially at a cost control number, because you're already paying big money to Oliver, paying big money to Greg Rousseau. Eventually, they're probably going to be paying big money or relative big money to another defensive end at some point, or at least they need to. But from the D tackle position right now, I mean, we need someone who really can be. I mean, ideally, I want someone who can start to phase Daquan Jones out right now.
Facts.
Like I want someone to be at that one tech who can, really anchor in and still penetrate, but really hold that position down and take up blockers while still being a threat from a pass rush standpoint.
Yeah.
Because Daquan Jones last year wasn't terrible, but it wasn't to the same level he played at the year before prior to getting hurt. So if we can get him, bump down a notch, I think that'd be a perfect role for him. Let him play out this last year under this contract,
Yeah.
get on between 25-30% of the snaps, and yet this young boy, rack up some of them snaps. So, from an ideal standpoint, if I can get someone in that first round or that second round
Yeah.
at the latest, then I think someone can fill that role. If we talking later day 2 or day 3, I really don't know if someone can come in and take that. But if it's a first round pick or one of those 2 second round picks, I think someone definitely has position or the potential to take that exact type of spot that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, ideally, like you said, someone who can really get Daquan Jones to maybe play in a more comfortable spot, which is you the third, fourth man off the out of the rotation. You don't necessarily have to start. And maybe he starts when you with spring and summer training camp sessions just to kind of, start off with having a veteran in the lineup who knows the defense, etc. But like you said, I'm looking for a young buck or a couple of them to come in there and really push that man out the rotation or get on the back end of the rotation because
Yeah.
I it's just for me like where I see the Bills really wanting to go, and they've been trying this for years now, and I think injuries kind of have set them back a little bit. They've missed on a couple signings, kind of misused Poona Ford, I thought, but like they've been really, really, and that's why I don't want to really dog Bean or McDermott. They've been really, really trying to get that dominant D line, like back in the day when Jim Schwartz had 4 or 5 guys who could just get you 10 sacks. Like back in the day when they had the cold front, Kyle Williams, Mario Williams, Jerry Hughes, Marcel Darius. So like, and I know that was a mixture of for that as well. Bless you. So like, I think they still searching for that, and I think they look at the Eagles, and once again, I always say with Brandon Bean, he has this ability to sit back after they lose and address exactly what not only did he felt like we missed from that last game, but he has this ability to look at even the Super Bowl and say, that's probably something that we need to very much so address so that we can take the next step forward. Because every time they've come very close, he's went ahead and attacked that draft with the need just right on the top of his mind. Like, listen, I know we talk about best available all the time, but if I say we need to really address corner like he did after the 2021 debacle, he went ahead and drafted 2 corners that same draft. Now, he only hit on one, but if you think about it, he drafted Elam and Benford right after that situation. If my math is correctly, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. But he drafted Elam and Benford. Thought like we need to make sure we address corner. We need to make sure we get another future corner next to Tre'Davious White. That was thinking that Tre'Davious White was going to work out. But now you look at it, and now we're set with the future with Benford. Tre'Davious White is gone, and now we revisit corner. But I think now that we're looking at D tackle, he's probably thinking the same thing. There were times in that Kansas City game when we needed that middle to be plugged up. We needed that middle to have some extra penetration like we saw from Philadelphia, and it just wasn't there. And we could say that for a couple of games. Baltimore at times, but we know who we facing at home this year. Because I think I might have mentioned it last week. We faced Philadelphia, we facing Baltimore. Both have strong. So you need a guy who can not only plug up the run and get in the backfield, but you need a guy that's also going to push the pocket when you're playing Patrick Mahomes, when you're playing Drake Mays of the world, when you're playing, I would say Deshaun Watson, but you're playing the CJ Strouds of the world, and whoever Pittsburgh throw out there, whoever the Jets throw out there. Like, matter of fact, who is the Jets quarterback right now? While I'm speaking on that, because I'm drawing a blank for a quick second. Who
Justin Fields.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you need to make sure you getting guys going upfield. I am forget the Jets, but when you play in New England, right? New England gonna be better. All right, Drake May, you got to get in his face. All right, we already know he think he the next Josh Allen, or that's what they think. Cool, get in his face, get him down. So I'm really hoping with all the D tackles that they bringing in, because I really do feel like the 3 or 4 names I heard, they all got something in common. They all get upfield. They all chase the ball, and they all guys over 315, 320 pounds. So that's all music to my ears. So whether that's day 1, day 2, now I gotta ask you though, when it comes to day 1, we know they're sitting at 30. what will be the thing may piss you off that can happen on day one that we not even close to even thinking about right now? Whether it's taking a different position, whether it's drafting and going and accumulating more picks in the second or third round. What do you think might be that one thing that might kind of get you like, God damn it, kind of like we were last year?
I feel like it wouldn't, as long as I walk away with one of those three positions, I'm good. As long as D tackle, defensive, and a cornerback, because I feel like those are the three areas of need the most. If you tell me they walk away with the receiver, I also wouldn't be mad either, because I know that room is still not fully complete. There is still a speed element that's not quite there. So if they found a receiver to kind of fill that void, I'm fine with that too. But outside of those four, you tell me a running back is in the fray or a old lineman, like anything up outside of those four is too much of a luxury pick right now when we have actual holes. You know, for the last 6 years or so, for the most part, we went into the draft without any glaring holes. And I think
Right.
this is the first time that, or one of the first times that we're actually walking into a draft with some legitimate holes.
Right.
Not saying it's, you know, if they walk into the season with this roster, they wouldn't be able to be successful. I'm not saying that, but there are definite weaknesses in this team right now. So only running back would piss me off. That would legit piss me off if they went that direction. Just because I mean the whole James Cook thing adds a bit of uncertainty. But wow, Luca is in his bag. But anywho, I'm sorry. Uh,
Nah, you good. I probably just missed it anyway because I had that on my TV too.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, running back. I mean, with the whole James Cook thing, I know there's definitely some uncertainty there, but not enough uncertainty to the point where I'm considering a first round running back. So
yeah.
if they pull something like that, no, I'm hot.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to see like safety right now either. Like, granted,
Not
that
on
position
day one.
is upgradable, but I don't think I'm ever in a position where I'm drafting a safety in the first round. Just from a positional value standpoint, it don't make sense to me.
Right.
Um, but it really is. It's really that running back position that piss me off. I want something in those three, but if I don't, these cats is throwing stuff up.
Yeah, JV.
Right. That's what that sequence definitely looked real JV ish,
Yeah.
or
That
just
big
throwing the
ass.
ball all over the
I don't even
place.
know what. Yeah, we watching this damn Lakers Dallas game. What is going on? Yeah, you're right. I'll hijack what you were saying though. Like, honestly, with you with the running back situation, like, don't piss me off on day one or day two and get a running back. Just because, yes, I do not know what's going to happen with James Cook. I do truly believe like the last thing we need to worry about when we got Ty Johnson, when we got Ray Davis, is truly adding early in the draft at that position when we got those other holes that we have to fill. I think automatically, especially myself, I'm looking at like how can we get better defensively? And how can we get better defensively is making sure we plug in that CB2 spot, making sure we plug in a role right next to Ed Oliver, a guy who is just not a role player. Because that's the thing I'm tired of too. Like, I don't need Harrison Phillips, no disrespect. I don't need Jordan Phillips. I don't need Quentin Jefferson types. I need a dog. And I'm not saying there's a Jalen Carter in this draft. I'm not saying there's a Jordan Davis in this draft. But God damn it, if you can get one of these top 5 D tackles, damn, they're top 10. If you can get 2 of the top 10, you're doing yourself pretty good. Because some of these D tackles are going to fall just because every team in this draft don't need a D tackle. You know, some of these teams is like, we'll worry about that later. Let's get us a wide receiver. Or, we'll worry about that later. Let's make sure we get one of these top 5 running backs. This draft class, I will say, is deep at running back, especially in the top half of it. There's some exciting, explosive running backs that's out there that are some teams are going to probably get up and grab, but that's good for us because the more people grab skill positions, we don't really need a whole lot. That's better for us. That means some of those defensive dogs going to slide down. You know, later in the second round, we may be able to still get a starting corner at 62.
Mm-hmm.
Because ideally for me, I'm looking at the 2 second round picks we got, and I'm saying to myself, man, if we can grab another starter or two later in the second round, along with whatever impact guy we get in the first round, that's a win. I don't even care about day 3. I mean, day 3 is always good for substance and depth. But like, if we can grab us 2 out of 3 starters on day 1 and day 2, or impact players as we call them, bro, I'm 100% good. But don't piss me off, like you said, by getting a skill guy that we don't need. Even wide receiver, low key, unless it's one of the top 3 wide receivers, and even that, I'm gonna kind of be like, But I don't really think we need to stretch and get a offensive playmaker day 1. Like I said, you can talk me into it if it's really one of those wide receivers where they're like, listen, at 30, you can't pass up on this guy. I know there was one guy I wrote down, Matt Golden out of Texas. If he somehow slips to 30, which I don't see happening, because I think he's going to be really one of the top 2 wide receivers off the board. But let's say everybody else is reaching for quarterbacks, offensive tackles, running backs, because we could very well see 2 or 3 running backs go in the first round.
Yeah, this year we could. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, don't get me wrong. If a Golden slips or one of the Jalen's, there's like 5 Jalen wide receivers in there. If they end up there at 30 and Bills is like, we gotta get one. I mean, but I'm really leaning heavy on defense the first 2 days. If I'm in charge of the Bills. And the last thing I will say is if they do trade back, and they do get more picks on day 2 or day 3, I won't be mad because I do think that there is some value in the middle rounds. Like the second and third round is the juicy part of the draft, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Really 2 through 5. Mainly 2 through 4, but 2 through 5 is where you get your Matt Milanos, your Terrell Bernard, your Dorian Williams, your Christian Benfords. I know Christian Benford was a little later in the draft, but like you can really get some dogs in those day 2, day 3 rounds. But I don't know. I guess I'll say all in all, they can't piss me off too much. Just don't add to a position that is really already addressed. But the good news is, I will tell our fans who listen, so far with a lot of the visits, there's some consistency there. There's a lot of consistency. There's a lot of D tackles. There's a lot of corners, a couple wide receivers mixed in there. And for a dude like me, that's music to my ears. So that's what I'll leave it at for there. So with this being said, I know we'll talk more about the draft next week. So I want to fast forward to talk about free agents who may be, sought after the draft process. Because I know there's always those veterans that's out there, the Justin Simmons of the world, the Amari Coopers. There's a lot of other guys out there. Rasul Douglas is now one of those veterans. So what do you think is the most likely scenario for Bills as far as adding on a veteran after the draft? And do you have your eye on any particular veterans during that week or the week after?
Yeah, I don't necessarily have my eye on a particular player as of right now, but I definitely see them adding another defensive end to that rotation.
Okay.
Because again, and I can't even say unless Javon Solomon steps up, because again, we have no idea. Because I mean, they're not going to be in pads for months from now. But right now, he's a meaningful part of the rotation. You know what I mean? You got Epinesa, you got Rousseau, you got Bosa, and
Right.
then again for the next 6 games, we don't have anybody in there besides Solomon. So I mean, I definitely expect them to add a veteran rotational piece in there. Again, I expect draft picks as well. But if nothing else, the Bills gonna have some veterans in every single position room. So, I expect someone else to be there. Same thing with corner, because right now, I mean, we got Dane Jackson, we got Jamarcus Ingram battling for our number 2. If we don't get a corner in the first 2 rounds or so, I think we have to lean into that veteran cornerback market because, again, McDermott, historically has worked magic with that second cornerback spot, even before his time with the Bills. However, I don't want to go into the season with Dane Jackson being the guy. And again, I don't have to argue that point with you because we already know how you feel about
you
Mr.
already know.
Jackson. Again, perfectly fine depth piece, but I don't want him taking 80 to 100% of the snaps.
Facts.
because I know just from a pure athleticism standpoint, it's a liability there. He knows where to be in zone coverage. He knows the defense. Nothing against that. It's just from a pure physicality standpoint. There's things on the field that he can't do.
Right.
So I definitely see something happening there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a Rasul Douglas reunion happens at some point.
Yeah.
Because at this point, he would have been on the team already if somebody was willing to give him the number that he wanted.
Low key.
So
Yeah, he playing the waiting game too. He got to be smart.
yeah, so I'm sure the Bills have already talked to him before free agency. Hey, go shop around, see if you can get what you're looking for. But if not, we got this number here for you.
Right.
If it work out, we'll welcome you back with open arms. If not, best of luck. I wouldn't be surprised if they spun the block and called him up.
I got a good spin the block idea too. And we'll probably end this in the next 5-10 minutes so we can add up and throw a lot of juice on next episode.
Bringing Trey White back.
Yeah, just because I know at least with Trey, that is a legit backup veteran option that like he humble enough even at this point in his career to be like, shit, number one, I'm back with the team that drafted me. Number two, I'll be a leader in the locker room, for these young cats, for these corners out there that need it. I can tell them the ins and outs of what it's like. And guess what? In a pinch, if you need me to step up, McDermott, you already know what time it is. I know what it's like to prepare and play this defense. I've played under your defense before. So, like, it wouldn't be like he's asked to do anything above what he's done before. But at the same time, I think if he had to really coach up a rookie for that CB2 role, he could really give that guy that mentorship that he needs and let him know, listen, keep your body right, stay as healthy as you can, mentally stay driven, stay motivated, because in the blink of an eye, you can be me. Point blank, period. Like, I went from all pro Trey to which team is willing to take a chance on me. I went through 2 teams in a matter of 12 months, and now I'm on my 3rd team in 18 months. So, like, I think Trey could be an option. I definitely think Rasul is definitely going to wait. And I'm pretty sure he got like 3 or 4 teams. And the funny thing is, most of the teams I think he could fit in on is teams that he played with in the past. I think, Green Bay is probably giving him the same conversation. I think Philadelphia is probably giving him the same conversation. Like, there's some teams out there that could use a veteran corner. I think Houston. But like, he got to play the waiting game like most people, because I think with the way Bills do it, and Brandon Beane, this is why I give him a lot of credit. He like, listen, dog, I would love to sign y'all before the draft, but based on how this draft go, we might get everything that we may need, and we might still need you, or we might not. Because
Right.
if the board fall the way it really might fall for us, and I get me a CB2, I get me a D tackle, I get me another edge, I get me this, I get me that. Oh, listen, thank y'all for everything. If you're willing to set a role to add depth, we got you. Outside of that, we done feel pretty much where we want to be from a starter standpoint. And guess what? They're not gonna let no rookies just go out there and not have to compete. So there's gonna be some, as you already mentioned, some veteran additions with guys who are okay with that. It's just which veterans are going to be okay with that. Like I said, I think Rasul still got another year or 2 in the league. Not just in the league, period, but just starting. I still think he got another year or 2 in him, even though last year he did look a little older, a little slower to react on some certain plays. It's not that he had a bad year last year. I just think that the splash plays not being there.
Yeah, for someone who's such a ball hawk over his career to have 0 interceptions for the whole season, it's definitely.
Yeah, I think and I think overall his anticipation was just down just a slight bit. Like, you saw him, it wasn't like you didn't see Rasul around the ball. It just looked like he might have been just there to make the tackle or there to break it up, but not there to like jump the ball like he did the first year he was here. So like, I would definitely welcome him back. I would definitely welcome Trey back. I think the Bills, especially with McDermott, he a big trust guy. He got to be able to trust you. And there's some veterans out there too. I saw the dude, I just brought his name up, Justin Simmons. I saw him talking about, listen, man, anybody out there need a veteran safety, man. He mentioned the Bills, he mentioned the Eagles, he mentioned another big team, but he like, man, listen, I played in Cincinnati for 8 years. I went to Atlanta for 1 year because I thought they could get over the hump. which I thought was a horrible decision by him because I wanted him last year. I'm like, bro, you
Right.
went to Atlanta. You went to Atlanta. All right, cool. So he like, my bad, essentially, because he was on the K Adams show. He like, listen, I kind of effed that up because I'm pretty sure the Bills was in the air. The Bills was probably like, listen, dog, we'll pay you a little something. I ain't gonna pay you nothing crazy. We'll get you on a 1 year.
I mean, I'd love to see him in the mix. Good, I think the defense was better with Taylor Rapp on the field, but I think Taylor Rapp is also replaceable.
Facts. And Taylor also got to stay healthy. So that's why I'm like, if you want to bring in a veteran safety, and this is after the draft, if you want to bring in a veteran safety to just kind of solidify like the unit that you already got, because you already got DeMar in the backup role, you got Cole Bishop going in the year 2. We know what Taylor Rapp brings to the table, but like to be a true Super Bowl contender, you can't rely on it. Well, if such and
Right.
such stays healthy, or
If
if
Cole Bishop takes a step, if
right,
Taylor Rapp can stay on the field,
right, yeah, I mean, because
still,
we
still
already know.
ifs.
Right, and we already know what DeMar Hamlin looks like starting. I mean, that's an average safety. He an average starting safety. Like, no disrespect. That's
He's
just what
not
he
gonna
is.
get beat over the top, but he's not gonna make no spectacular plays. He's gonna be where he's supposed to be, but it's not gonna be game changing.
Yeah. So with that being said, are we trying to win the Super Bowl or not? And I think the way Bean is done so far over the last few years, especially anytime they suffer that real close loss, I think he gonna try to play it as smart as he can. So that's why I'm really excited for the next 2 to 4 weeks, because it's not just what happens in the draft. I think the biggest thing next is what happens after the draft, because it's like now we locked in some young dudes for the future. What veterans are we going to bring in to help complete this roster going into spring camp? And then we can prepare ourselves for what to see in July. So, with that being said, man, was there anything else you want to add? Because I know I told you before we started rolling, we was going to keep it under 45 for this week because we got a big one next week. So, anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, I'm looking forward to next week where we get into our mock draft. So, any more draft talk, I'm gonna just save it till next week. Again, unrelated to football, but shout out to Luka dropping 45 on your return to Dallas. Like that's cold. That's
Yep.
cold.
Yeah, man. Emotional homecoming. I saw he shed a couple tears, man. But that's
Oh yeah, man. I would have too, man. I spent my
yeah,
whole first contract with this team, man. I love the team. Got traded out the blue.
yeah.
I'd have been in my feelings too. But again, just getting back in line. Nothing really new to add. Again, we kind of touched on it last week, but I did just want to say I am still very intrigued to see how this James Cook thing plays out. And I'm curious to see if the Bills do decide to do anything at the running back position.
Yeah, because that's going to be very
During the
telling.
draft. Yeah, that's going to kind of let us know what their
Yeah.
thought process is. Because again, you got Ray Davis under contract for another 2 years after this, still part of his rookie deal. I
Got
think
time.
when they just signed Ty Johnson, I don't think it was just a 1-year deal. I think it was a
Yeah, I think
2-year
it was
deal.
2 years. Yep, 2-year deal.
So again, you already got two running backs,
And you
2 of
got
your 3 running backs locked in for the next couple years. I mean, you still got Frank Gore on an entry level deal too.
Darrington
So,
Evans.
yeah, and Darrington Evans. So like the need for a running back is not there unless they really feel there's some uncertainty with James Cook. So I'm just curious to see how this draft plays out from that running back position, because I think that's going to give us a lot of
That's because Bill's Twitter, we already know. Like, I'm gonna mute a lot of people, but Bill's Twitter going to be on fire once a running back is drafted. Up there we go. Get out of here. That's the only part I'm not going to like. Is like, cool if we draft a running back, whatever. My thing is like, just don't be real disrespectful with this situation.
Oh, they will be.
I know they will, and that's why I said I'm gonna have to mute a lot of fans, because like, do you have to agree with what he want? No, I said it last week. You don't gotta agree. Cool. You said what you said about the 15, 14, whatever. Cool. But the whole like, get him out of here. He don't want to be here. Like, bro, y'all now y'all starting to put words in his mouth. I mean, the man
Just because I want to get paid what I feel like I'm worth don't mean I don't want to be here.
exactly.
I can want to be here and still want the bag.
Exactly. And you can have both. It just sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And that's why I tell people that's the business side of sports that we all hate. That's why I always try to make sure I don't put my feelings into these player situations, because I'm just like, me as a fan, I can't control what Brandon Bean does with his decision. I can't control what they think is best for the Bills' future. I can say, man, I wish we would have kept such and such. But like some of y'all got to remove your feelings, like on
Yeah.
both sides, like either whether you pro Cook or whatever,
Or
you know.
not. Yeah, because like as someone who deals with like I'll say finances for a living, when I'm meeting with clients and locking in buyers or sellers, when we sign this contract to work with me, I'm telling you, we're going to talk about what my commission is.
Right.
I know what I'm worth. Just because I'm telling you what I'm worth doesn't mean I don't want to work with you.
Right.
Or if my commission is higher than what you expect, no, I still want to work with you. However, I know what I'm worth. So
Right.
like I can't be mad when a player decides the same thing. Like, I just scored 16 touchdowns last year.
Mhm.
I led the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
I behind Saquon Barkley, I had the most explosive touchdowns in the league, or I think Derrick Henry too.
Yeah.
So,
It's
I
like
feel like
I feel like I'm
that
in there.
warrants this number. So
Yeah.
shit, I can't be mad at him for saying that.
And I was on one of the best teams in the entire league that got to the AFC Championship and provided a spark. Like I always say, like what you do in those last moments will also leave an impression too with your coaches, with your
Mm-hmm.
front office. I mean, we got to remember 4th and goal, down 21-16. There was a play on the outside where there was 2 Chiefs that met him there, and he went head up with him and still got the touchdown. And
Yep.
I'm pretty
And
sure every fan was off their couch when that happened.
yep, I almost ran through the wall.
Yeah,
Outside of Josh, he was their most
he
consistent
was their most consistent
threat
player. And then you go
on
Deion
offense.
and then from
So
there. So like it is what it is, man. We will see. I think, like you said it best. 2 weeks from now, we're gonna have a way better idea of what may come with that situation. No matter what happens, man. Listen, I'd say like this. I appreciate the guy for what he gave us for 3 years, going into
mhm.
4 years, because we ain't had an explosive back like that since LaShawn McCoy. I'm gonna call it what it is. We ain't had a
Yeah.
dude like that since Shady, and he definitely improved each year. And that's the one thing I can say about Cook that I really appreciate is that he took the downfall, the downfalls he had in his first year. Second year had a couple issues with his hands. Third year, Brady showed a lot of more trust in him inside the red zone, and
And
it
he
paid
bought
off.
out.
And it
Yep.
right, it paid off because it's one thing to give a dude the ball in the 10-yard line, 5-yard line, and then you don't do nothing with it. But
But
to
he was
act,
finishing them runs with
that's what
power at that.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, once again, one more time, we go back to the AFC Championship game to give your running back the ball in that situation on 4th and goal, bro. That's the ultimate trust. So that
Mhm.
lets you know where Brady stands with it. It's just, can Brady convince his own boss to be like, hey, yo, can you, can you make sure I get one of my toys back? Like for real, like
Like,
not just for 1
can
year.
y'all just figure out a way to make these numbers work?
Just another 3. It don't even gotta be 5. Just can I get another
Right.
like 3? Like
And I don't want that long of a contract. If you
yeah,
want to give him 15,
yeah,
all right.
for the short.
But I needed to be 3 years max.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. They got there's different ways to do it where like Bills fans, I know they don't get it yet, but there's different ways to do it where both sides can be happy. It's just to be seen, and we don't know what that looks like. So I know I'm putting my hands up. I know regardless, the Bills going to do what the Bills want to do.
Yeah,
Point
I
blank.
mean, if you're gonna be the 15, give him 13 with a whole bunch guaranteed.
Right.
Let's keep it moving. We're gonna call it a day. You get your guaranteed money, big old signing bonus when you sign this check or you
Yeah,
sign this contract, and we're gonna keep it moving.
that's a fact. But yeah, we'll leave it from there. I know we'll have more conversations regarding running back, and we'll dive into some wide receiver because I do still feel like, I know we didn't touch on it earlier, like skill position still matters in this draft. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll
Sure.
much much rather I should say it to be day 3, and even day 2, low key, if we can somehow get a 3rd round pick, which I think we will. I think we ultimately will end up with a 3rd round pick, if not more than 1 3rd round pick, because the Bills got 10 draft picks. They gonna do some moving and shaking. I mean, if I can bet, honestly, I'll be willing to bet my account right now, whatever I got left in my checking right now, to be like, yeah, we making a move or 2 on the draft day. There's no way we keep in the same positions. We just not. It's just go ahead, throw it in the bank, call it what you want to call it. The Bills gonna be doing some moving and shaking. So I do expect there to be some movement. So I do want to see some speed. I think the good got the good thing that I'm seeing from the visits, and I'll leave it at this, is that the receivers that they bringing in to sit down and talk to all got explosiveness.
Mm-hmm.
They all got explosiveness from the I know I can't think of his name right now, Isaiah Bond. So from Bond to the kid from I think Utah State, Jalen Royal or whatever his name is. I know I wrote his name now. Yeah, Jalen Royals from Utah State. There's some guys out there that got complete explosiveness in the open field, which I know the Bills, they've been trying to search for their favorite toy for the last 5 years.
Right.
You know, and I know we've had some success, you know, with Khalil Shakir. Shout out to Khalil Shakir. Curtis Samuel last year came on towards the end of the year. I know there were flashes with Keon, just from a playmaking standpoint. Not to say he's a big separator, but from a playmaking standpoint, Keon had his moments last year. But I think they're looking for that ultimate, like, I don't want to call it cheat code, but kind of like an ultimate cheat code where he on the
Right.
field and you got to be like, wait, hold on, slow down. Who got him? Y'all, yo, PS2, you go over there. I'll cover Keon. You cover Khalil. You cover Kincaid, whatever, and we'll figure the rest out. But we need that ultimate cheat code. So if we can get a cheat code in this draft, I'm all for it. Because I don't think there's a veteran out there that can do that. I mean, there's some savvy veterans that's left in the market that we can plug in there if we want to after the draft. But there's nobody on that free agency list that's really got me like, that got
Right.
me. You know what I mean? It's guys, but Keenan Allen, like, that's Khalil Shakir. I'm good. Like,
Yeah,
so
that's not the style that I need.
you know,
So
I need explosiveness. Like, shout out to Keenan Allen, hell of a career. I need more.
yeah, it's just stylistically that's not what I need right now.
Right. You know, 3-4 years ago, maybe. Yeah, nah.
Shit, 2 years ago, I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah, to go along with Diggs. Hell yeah, I would have took that. But anyway, we passed that. I appreciate you guys though for jumping in with us the week before we do our mock draft episode. Like I said, y'all, we are 2 weeks away. Can't even believe time been moving like this. But I always say after the Super Bowl, things kind of move slow and then they just go full steam. So we are reaching that period. It's springtime, even though I don't feel like it in Buffalo. Springtime. Y'all make sure y'all take care of y'all households. Like I said, there is a period of transition that we're going through as a country, as in this world, to be honest with you. A lot of different things going on, but take care of yourself the best way you know how to. Stay healthy. Drink your water. All right. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. All right. I think you can see it a little bit. Drink your water. Take care of your kids. You know, celebrate love, celebrate the birthdays, celebrate the anniversaries. And that's all I got. Z, you got anything else?
That's it, man. That's it. We're gonna see y'all next week, mock draft season.
Yes,
So we're
sir.
gonna lock in. It is Zyrus and Vel, and we are in the zone with V and Z. We appreciate y'all rocking with us for another week.
Yes, sir.
Go Bills. That's all I'm gonna leave it on.
Go Bills. All right, y'all. Peace out. Bing bong.